Hey, welcome to the first episode of Paragon Comics Quarter Bin Trash or Treasure. This is where we just randomly grab a comic or like a mini-series or something like that out of the quarter bin and decide if it was rightfully placed there or if it was overlooked, because you know the quarter bin is, at a lot of retailers, it's how would you describe it?
Well, it exists to offload product that is not selling for whatever reason.
Right.
And you're basically writing it off at a loss, and you put it in the quarter bin, you hope it sells. It could be because you ordered too much of something, or you tried something as an experiment for the store and the local community just didn't
So for our
accept.
first one is Toupydoops 1 through 5 by Kevin McShane. The basis of the story is it's about this guy, Toupydoops right here. He's like a Martian or something. You know, just a blue alien looking guy.
Yep.
And his friend Teeter Eater, who's like a half man, half bear. And they had like this pet monkey who also, I think, does he talk?
He doesn't say a word. All he does is sit around, play video games, and smoke cigars.
And in the world of Toupydoops, as you can just see from any given title here, it's like Toupydoops is comics are like Hollywood in this world, and everybody, like, they're trying to be an actor. Like in comics, like they're real.
They're trying to break into
actors
comics as actors.
Yeah, they're not drawn characters. Like, if you ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's that idea of that cartoons are real. They're not just drawings or whatever. In fact, they make a specific reference in here at some point that they think of this comic as a cross between Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Swingers. It's just about, you know, two guys trying to make it big in Hollywood, and you know, they're crazy misadventures.
Right,
It's a comedy series that's walks a fine line between juvenile and adult humor,
But it is clearly not intended for juvenile
yeah,
audiences.
it's not intended for kids, even though it has a very clean, cartoony look. I think this Kevin McShane guy is a really talented cartoonist, and I think he's a pretty decent writer.
Yeah,
because
it's well written.
It's really breezy, really witty, and the only problem, although I wouldn't even really call it a problem, is that so many of the jokes are in-jokes. If you're not a comic book geek, you might not get this.
And in-jokes are fine if they're used judiciously and they're not overused. This book, they're overused. If you're not in the world of comics and a true fanboy, if you will,
right.
You're definitely gonna not get a lot of the humor that's in here. I know there are some that I didn't get because I do have a life besides comics, and some of it I wasn't sure who he was referring to, but it still works internally. Clearly the audience here are comic book geeks in their late teens, mid-20s, a lot of sophomorific humor, and at first when I started reading it, first couple issues, I thought, this isn't going to cut it. But as I got going, I actually found that I was interested in the story. The story actually worked.
Well, I guess that just about wraps it up for Paragon Comics Quarter Bin Trash or Treasure. Our first quarter bin book was Toupydoops 1 through 5. Great buy at a quarter, not so great at cover price, so I definitely vote Treasure.
And I agree with Chad. I wouldn't pay full cover price for it, but at a quarter, I think it's a treasure.
Yeah, so if you find it in your comic book store's quarter bin, snatch it up. So I guess that does it, and I guess we'll see you next week. So I'm Chad.
And I'm Don.
See you next week.